Stormed, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me as always is Ben Slinger.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah, this is the Halloween episode.
I
decided halfway into saying stuff.
I was wondering if you're going to do anything, and then your voice kind of slowly got spookier throughout that intro. So, yeah, good job. This is our Halloween episode, so we're just going to try to put a spooky bent on all of our game designs this week, I think.
We were talking beforehand, and we've decided that this is the dentist's favorite holiday, so we're going to call it Hole-o-ween.
Hole-o-ween, when all those cavities from the candy given out on All Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Eve.
All that candy comes back to roost in the dentist's chair.
So, for those who don't remember or haven't heard this before, typically the main antagonist that we used to go for was always a dentist, because dentists, they're just evil.
They just want to inflict pain. Yeah. Clearly,
they're masochists or whatever it is.
Sadists, I think, is that side of it. Masochist is someone who wants to end up in the dentist chair all the time.
Yeah, true.
They put that little, put the little apron over, and there's just a boner. Like, you can steer it through. That's the masochist. Hurt me, daddy. But anyway, I think we're just gonna go with standard click pitch, but with the spooky bent and probably some dental work.
Do we do some ramped up click pitch? We haven't done that for a while.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So we're going to move to ramped up click pitch, which is just like click pitch, except instead of a random word, we're going to get, essentially two random words, technically a random phrase, I suppose, but an adjective and a noun each. And we're going to throw those words up in the air, see where they land, probably in a graveyard or spooky dentist chair. Yeah. They're all spooky.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, click.
Stimulating liability.
Wood idiot.
A wood idiot. Okay.
I was thinking Pinocchio.
Yes,
because he's a wood idiot.
I went to some sort of animated
But I also
puppet.
did think about
like
the masochist with wood underneath the
stimulating, and it will be a liability. No, but I do I do like the idea of a creepy living marionette
who's come to life on Halloween, and he's a liability. He's just fucking everything up.
He just wants to trick or treat with all the other kids, but he just can't be a real boy.
He only lives one night a year. He's kind of like the Halloween version of Frosty the Snowman, but he only gets one night.
Oh.
Frosty at least gets the whole,
what is
days
it?
of Christmas.
So Frosty the Snowman, I think, comes to life when you put the hat on his head. What is it for? What is it for this Pinocchio guy?
The condom on his boner?
By which we mean his wooden nose. Got to keep it safe in the Frosty. Well, it's not.
I think it's just, someone accidentally sprinkled fairy dust over this.
Yeah, demon
marionette and demon dust, whatever.
For Halloween.
Yeah, dentist dust, exactly. It's tooth
just
dust.
Ground up to the teeth.
So every Halloween or Hole-o-ween, the marionette comes.
We can't like fit the dentist thing into every time we say it. Yeah, we know it's there now. Yes, every Halloween. How long has it been going on for? This wooden boy has been like
this puppet doesn't
300 years.
It's been a while. I mean, marionettes aren't in fashion anymore, but this one keeps on coming back to life every single year.
Yeah. Okay.
And all he wants to do is trick or treat. And there's a massacre every year.
Because he ends up killing people. Does he have a nose
it's very
that grows?
Tucker and Dale versus evil, that people just happen to kill themselves around him
because they're running from
trying
the
to run away.
evil-looking marionette. I mean, marionettes are pretty creepy. They move in very creepy ways.
Yeah. Very wooden, surprisingly.
Funny that. So, what are the control? Whenever I think of a game with a marionette, I always want to be controlling, controlling the limbs via the strings in some way.
100%.
So that could be a quappish sort of thing, or I think instead of often those are like contracting muscles or just like directing.
You're contracting strings.
That's it. I think you can only pull them up or loosen them, right? Like it's in that sort of way, and move them forward and back. So,
and I think it's very simple. Of sort of pull,
triggers and thumbsticks, probably.
Maybe not even the triggers and thumbsticks. Maybe just the you've got sort of like the 6-axis thing. It's on PlayStation only, and then it's like you've got the triggers and bumpers, and you're sort of having to try and walk it down by I definitely moving the controller.
I do definitely like the idea of using the motion controls, particularly on the PlayStation, because that you could almost play it you could almost hold it like a marionette. Stick.
There's something about that just fits quite nicely.
Yeah,
and it just so happens that everywhere that this puppet goes, people
run screaming. I wonder why.
And
when what is clearly a living marionette comes walking towards them.
And the thing is, the strings are actually being held above by magic,
by nothing. Yeah. That's cool. Are you picturing this as sort of behind the shoulder? Like, are you seeing the strings and the marionette, or is it a bit more separated?
You were literally just seeing, the strings and the marionette, and the cross piece or whatever it is. I don't even know what that's actually called. I'm sure there is a name, and I'm sorry for all those marionette enthusiasts out there.
We have a lot of them. Yeah. It's a little known fact that actually this podcast used to be a marionette reviews podcast.
We haven't talked about that for a very long time.
We have a sort of an audience there left over from that. So we apologize.
I mean, it used to be called Puppet Storm, and then we Puppet Storm, and then we changed.
Well, we also changed it because some people got upset that we were calling marionettes puppets and vice versa. They don't all fall under that umbrella.
No. And then it was Muppet Storm for a little while, and that was when it was,
that was in COVID.
That was when Jim Henson's, was sponsoring us for that, 1 week before the incident.
Right. Yeah. We don't talk about that, and I think it's good that Scooter signed that NDA. We won't kind of come back to that again.
Yeah. Okay.
Dark times.
So yeah, we're definitely talking the center of the screen is sort of like that cross piece, whatever.
Okay. So you're sort of almost looking down.
Yeah. And you got a little bit more of a down tilt of the camera, and you just see at the very bottom of the screen, sort of like the marionette and the road that it's sort of moving down, but you can also see enough ahead.
Yeah, you have to see everyone. You might have to
running, and
you might have to
tripping into.
You might have to abstract it a bit to, you want to see the view of the cross piece, so you can sort of get the idea of the controls, but you maybe don't need to see it directly attached to it. You just see the string. You still see the strings coming down, obviously, but yeah.
Do we actually not want to show the puppet? I suppose that's a thing.
You only show the strings and stuff.
Yeah, and it's because it's so scary. Like you basically
maybe you just never see it from
maybe
the
front. Top of its head.
Yeah,
you never see it from the front, so you don't see what everyone else is seeing. But
I mean, for a horror game, that makes sense, right?
You know it's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Because everyone is running away. I mean, literally one guy ran into a wood chipper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, like, is a sensitive subject, given that you're made of wood.
Exactly. Who would have put a wood chipper around this marionette?
Yeah. All right. I think 3, 2, 1, click.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, click.
Tiny carpet.
Camp newsletter.
Oh, okay. Tiny carpet.
I mean, we know that, camps are, quite often where Friday the 13th and those sort of things are
yes.
set. What if this is like a camp for like toddlers? Basically it's sort of like it's typically a camp that people send their kids away to and all that sort of stuff. Well, I'm not talking about, this is going to be kiddie murder. Like, I'm just saying that.
Why I'm hesitant.
Why you've got a very shocked look on your face and you're stepping away from
wary.
I'm just saying that it happens to be a campsite that tailors to tiny people, also known as toddlers.
As in small, yes. All right.
So, it just so happens that that is one of the things, and that's the whole backdrop. Okay. And then the rest of it is just, your standard sort of slasher in a
but not the children.
But not the children. No.
It's just the counselor.
Yes. 100%.
After it's in the off season.
Yes.
And so this is all to justify why there's a tiny carpet.
Exactly. You don't have, 2 to 3 year olds there anymore. Maybe you'll have a 4 or a 5 year old, but they're not a toddler.
They're not a toddler. They can be
walk
killed
properly now. They can be
murdered without it being a problem.
Exactly.
We
they don't have to hold on to things to walk properly.
We can go with that. But if we want to potentially avoid the missteps there, when I heard tiny carpet, I thought of like an Aladdin style magic carpet.
Okay. Yep.
Flying carpet.
But it's just really tiny.
But it's
so
like
you
a
can
bath
only
mat or something.
Yeah. It's
so
one person. You can't fit more.
It's a
than
one person only, unless you like to get really close, and you're probably not going to be able to stay balanced on it. So maybe this is a situation of at this camp, it's the classic found the genie in some sort of receptacle.
Yep.
Asked for a flying carpet. They happened to be in like the bathroom.
And they gave him a hand towel.
And even better, a hand towel. They can't even actually write on it really. But they can deliver stuff where they can like
better than what it could have been. It could have been a flannel. Like, the flannel's even worse. Like,
well, true. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. But okay, yeah, a hand towel.
Hand towel's enough that you could effectively surf on it if you really needed to.
You could balance on it. It'd be like one of those little like balance boards on the pipe sort of thing. Depending on how stable
it's the size of a Wii balance board.
Yeah, essentially. And we all know, we've all had that experience.
And we now know this entire game is being made for the Wii. And the main use is the Wii balance board.
That's true. Yeah. There were not enough games made for that peripheral. Yep. We've all got one sitting in a closet somewhere, gathering dust. Bring it back out.
I see yours. There it is.
Yeah, right behind me.
Yep. It's framed for some reason.
That Wii balance board helped my balance so much back in 2008, whenever it fucking was that thing came out. I do like that idea of a peripheral though, and then it's the game magic carpet, but you're Peter Molyneux's classic, yeah.
You're having to balance to move it around, and then you just like shooting using the Wiimote.
Game done, I think.
You're shooting newsletters as Paperboy. But
He's shooting newsletters into all the the campers' cabins.
And
That's what you
also,
choose to use it for.
And also, because we've got to really get this horror stuff in there. There's also a slasher in the camp at the same time,
but he's really afraid of newsletters.
Exactly. Really afraid of propaganda. Really, any propaganda.
Mm-hmm. And we know what happens at toddler camp. They're brainwashing those kids.
Oh yeah,
3 to 1 click.
Those kids.
Wood's journey.
Pouring interview.
Oh, okay.
So woods and pouring, I'm thinking, deep
Like a
dark
forest,
woods, and it's pouring down with
That's
rain.
the atmosphere there, yeah.
Yeah. It's got that real
Okay, so someone's on a journey
massive storm
to interview the big bad wolf.
Oh, yes.
Or something.
They're going to interview someone, and when they get there, it's a big wolf, and it's like, my, what big eyes you have, and it's very much.
Yeah. They're going to interview, the governor of the woods, Mrs. Jane.
Mrs. Hood. Jane Hood. Yeah.
But yes, you get there and it's clearly a wolf.
Yeah.
Trying to pass themselves off.
Got this blazer on and, tight mini skirt. And
oh, you know what vibe I got from this though? Inscription.
Yes.
With the dark eyes.
The darkness. And
occasionally coming into the light, but you're out in the woods, around a campfire in the rain. And
playing Uno.
Interviewing.
Playing Uno while you interview.
That's where we go a version of Uno.
Okay, you're playing one.
I can't think of how you say one in any other languages.
Itch.
There you go. Okay, so from the atmospheric point of view, I like this. I think some sort of card game or tabletop-ish sort of thing could be interesting. That kind of represents this interview in a sense.
While you're interviewing, you're just painting minis.
It's just to keep your hands busy.
Exactly. It's ADHD the game.
And that stands for All Dentists Hate
Dogs.
Dentists.
All dentists hate denim.
Denim. Yeah.
You shouldn't
we
be
all
wearing
know what
those
that
jeans.
does to your teeth. Cleans them too well.
Exactly.
We've all bought a denim toothbrush and seen how it never means you never have to go to the dentist again. They hate it.
Yeah. Well, it's why, it's why they no longer actually sell them anywhere, because the dentists have, stopped or bought them all up, basically.
Yeah, you'll never find one anymore. They successful. The dentist lobby is huge.
I'm lucky. I've got a hand-me-down one from my grandfather. Yeah.
Acid washed.
Yeah, acid washed.
I realized
in the 60s, I think there might be some acid there.
I realized it should have stood for All Draculas Hate Dentists. That's a different game.
God. Okay. Now
we've got to do that.
Pitch me All Draculas Hate Dentists. Because you've actually said it's not vampires. You've said Draculas. So how many Draculas are there?
Well, it's the Dracula family, right?
Okay, yep.
Draculas had, and when we say family, we of course mean the siring process of other vampires.
Ooh.
So in this case,
really? So this is just
it's the lineage, the vampiric lineage of Dracula. They're all Draculas.
So have we actually got it wrong and they're not actually vampires? Vampire is just not one of the other families?
Could be. Yeah. Why not?
So Vampire and Dracula were good friends. And Dracula's now not happy that
Dracula's not happy that Vampire got the props for naming the whole idea.
In fact, Dracula hates the fact that he's also called a vampire. It's like,
oh yeah,
I wasn't side by him.
That's like calling me a Trevor.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make sense.
Or me a Ben. Come on. Don't want to be a Ben.
So I very much think then that the most famous and richest dentists in the area are the Van Helsings.
Yes.
From Van Helsing's Dentist Academy.
Yeah.
And then we're setting them against each other.
Yeah. In fact, technically, Van Helsing is just the surname, but really they are dentists. That's, so it was originally,
yes.
But
it's a similar situation.
Dentists.
There was the guy called Dentist and there was the guy called Van Helsing, and Dentist, like Vampire, is the one who kind of got named for
killing them.
What the actual job is. And
Van Helsing got the name of the destroying the vampires, even though the Dentist really did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they back in the prehistory of it all, Dentist and Van Helsing were partners, right?
Yeah.
Both killing vampires / Draculas and taking their teeth. That's how the whole thing started, right? Because teeth from one of these creatures are very valuable.
And unless we go into
special properties,
Dracula's good friend, werewolf,
that was just a nickname, technically.
Yeah.
But a similar situation where, that nomenclature got passed down.
Good old lycanthrope. Yeah.
So I think then, though, that this is all the lore building up to where this game is, right? Because now you are
what year is this set in? Is it set in
I think
the
it's
60s?
modern day.
Oh.
I think it's 2024.
2024.
And you have
not
just
1960s.
graduated from Van Helsing's Dental Academy.
Yeah.
Where they've kind of taken on both names.
Yeah, both names. Yeah.
Where you have learned the dental arts and the blood-sucking creature.
Also known as a Dracula.
Also known as either a Dracula or a vampire, depending on their lineage.
Yeah.
Because we've made this fucking complicated.
Yes.
We can't talk about these things now, as everyone's used to. But I like the idea of running a dental practice but having to watch out for vampire / Draculas.
Yes.
That's a cool thing.
In fact, the difference between a vampire and a Dracula is the amount of pointy teeth.
Yeah. Oh, I like that idea of, yes. Then we can have the different species of, okay, you're going to have normal humans coming in, but sometimes you're going to have a vampire. Sometimes you're going to have a Dracula. You need to know what to look out for. If you're not sure, you can do certain things accidentally cut yourself and see which teeth react in different ways.
I mean, if you have the little mirror and you put it up and you can't see anything, you know that you've got one.
Stick the little mirror in there. You just see your own face staring back at you, even though it's deep inside their gob.
You don't see the back of their teeth. Then you know, oh shit.
But it's actually only vampires that works for. Dracula's mirrors are fine.
Yes.
The lore has got all mixed up. Garlic, that's for Draculas.
But not for vampires.
No.
Vampires actually, they love a lasagna covered in garlic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the vampire came over from Italy originally,
Yeah.
garlic and everything.
Oh, yeah. They weren't Transylvanian.
No,
Dracula. They were Draculas.
The Draculas, yeah, exactly. This is the thing. The history all got mixed up.
Yeah. So vampires, they have like all the really, really, when they get angry, they have all the really, really pointy teeth, like the movie Abigail. They were vampires.
Yep. So like all their teeth react, whereas the Draculas have just the insides, the traditional sort of what
the
we
traditional
think of.
canines that go
Canines, yeah.
and they go.
They're actually like more like snake's teeth, like they flip out.
Yes.
So you have to. That's one way.
That you can tell,
that you can tell, but not
if
with the
they
mirror.
hiss at you, and then the teeth flip out.
This is what makes it difficult. Like if they reacted to the mirror, you'd easily be able to just look up in there and see if those teeth are sitting back up there, ready to flick out. But mirrors don't work on the Draculas. So
no, didn't you say that they don't work on? They do work on the Draculas because
because I thought
because you said the vampires that they don't work on because the garlic works on Draculas.
Yeah, you're right. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, then it's easy to see. I didn't go to Van Helsing's.
You've got to stick. The problem is your hand is very close then to.
Oh, this is the thing. You can't let them know that you've discovered them.
Oh, and you know what? They don't go for the neck. They go for the wrist.
Oh, yeah, that's
the
it.
The wrist is like there's an artery right there.
That's it.
And like
you're right there. And they do not want you to discover that they're vampire or Dracula because Van Helsing's, like, it is part of their sacred duty to charge double.
Exactly.
To those creatures.
Because they've got an extra set of teeth.
Yeah, it just makes sense. You can try to hide them just because you have the capability of acting like a human.
They don't kill them.
No.
Why would they kill them? They've got more money.
They're dentists. They're just in it for the cash.
Yes. You got a cavity right there. Oh, you got a cavity in your fang. I see that cavity.
Fang cavity.
I don't see the cavities now. I can't see it because you're a vampire.
Yeah. Do x-rays work is the question.
Yes. It's the only way that you can see.
Yeah, okay.
But you can't use the little mirror to see behind.
No.
So you got to stick you got to ask them to open wide and stick your whole head in there and hope that they don't bite down.
It's
like a lion.
Just because they can unhinge their jaw does not necessarily mean
they're going to chop down. You just got to hope they don't sneeze.
But I'm saying that is true. But I'm saying that doesn't necessarily mean they're a Dracula or a vampire, both of whom can unhinge their jaws.
They could be a snake person.
That's it.
You never know.
Yeah. You just can't, and they're a protected species.
They are.
In fact, they fall under the government. They fall under the government
protected.
subsidies. You can't charge them anything.
No.
3, 2, 1, click. Last one, I think. Yeah.
No, click again.
All right. Grab overtime.
Variant attorney.
Oh.
So this is the Marvel multiverse.
Yes, I was going to say, this is the fucking, what's the time TS? No.
Okay. I love this. This is like
time authority. What is it?
Time variance or TVA.
TVA. That's what.
Time variance authority. You're an attorney for the time variance authority, and you get different variants in, and you've got to present their case to the judge. It's how they decide to do things.
Like a public defender of sorts for them. So the variants come in, and you're like, okay, why should this?
You don't get
why should the universe
any
not
time
be
to actually prepare your case. You get no time to prepare your case. It's just
you get a file.
You get a file.
You can do a quick interview with them.
You don't even get that. It's like, how do you plead? It's like, oh shit, and you got to quickly read it.
Okay. I can't remember because it's been too long since watching Loki, and I haven't watched season 2. So the variants come in because they've created a new timeline or something? Is that basically what's happened?
Originally, what would happen is they'd
prune that timeline.
They get either they prune the whole timeline if it went way off, or
or they just disintegrate the variant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Right. So this is maybe a little bit later where they've decided, oh shit, we can't just be wiping out whole sentient human beings just because they're in a different timeline and have screwed up a bit. We need some sort of a la the TV series Night Court. They bring in, because I've started watching the 2023 remake of Night Court. Oh, okay.
And basically
I don't
they
think
get it.
I ever realized, because Night Court was a satire, right?
Yes.
I like the amount of times I've heard Night Court referenced, I just assumed it was some sort of law drama.
No, it's a sitcom.
Yeah.
It's full on, like, the court happens at night. There's a public defender and like the district attorney, and they just.
I feel like I need to watch, because I feel like you always hear that people were in Night Court, like in the show. When was the original?
84 to 92, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. 9th season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and give that a try. Wonder if it holds up.
We started watching the just before this, we just started watching the remake, and it's not bad. Like it's typical multicam laugh track comedy.
Okay. Those are few and far between these days, I feel like, so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, so
anyway,
TVA Night Court.
Yep. So you're just playing, you're kind of papers pleasing your way through. Yeah. You have a look at the.
You made that into a verb.
It's a verb.
Yeah,
it's a verb
for sure. On this show, it is.
You get the file, and you go through the rules of today. These are the sort of things that you're looking for. This is okay.
Rather than necessarily knowing up front, here's the rules of today. It's like, oh, what judge do we have?
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay. They're going to rule strongly on this one. They're going to be more lenient on this sort of thing. Okay, here's the sort of things we're going to look for. Here's the arguments. And sometimes you just can't get people off, but
it's kind of like Tapo that you're going between different courtrooms, depending on, you go in, you do the thing, and then it's like, okay, now Judge Wolowitz is calling you down there. It's like, oh shit, go down to.
Yeah. And if you've taken too, like, you might take the extra time to look through the file and really find a way. Oh, okay. Judge Henrietta is gonna let them off, and I found this specific thing. It's like, right, okay, good, but it took me a little bit longer. So now you got to rush over to Judge Wolowitz. It's like, oh shit. Okay, I gotta find this particular loophole, but I've only got 2 minutes or whatever, 20 seconds to look through this file.
Yep. And I think, the files at first are like 1 page. And that's
of course.
And then by the time that you get to the end, it's 2 pages. And
it's like they put down, it's like one of those things. It's like, here's the box. One of those filing boxes put down in front of you. You got
30 seconds.
You got 30 seconds to flick through and find the relevant information. That's cool. I kind of like that. And then, theming it on the whole TVA thing, everything's got that interesting orangey sheen to it.
The cool thing is you can get repeat variants because it's just another variant of like the same person.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like,
slight variation on what happened, Oh, you made this decision and split off another timeline when the last one I had made the opposite decision. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So you're arguing both sides, and it's like,
and now post Deadpool and Wolverine, you might get an anchor being come through. It's like, oh shit, yeah. Okay. Now what do we do?
Yeah, I mean, what happens if you get an anchor being, or as they used to call them, Nexus beings?
True. Yeah. Interesting.
That was your Scarlet Witch, and technically your Deadpool. He was the Nexus being because
how could he not
go through all the different?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think
that does bring us to the end of tonight.
Yeah, it does. That last one wasn't that
very
spooky,
special Hole-o-ween.
Hole-o-ween. Please your dentist this Halloween to make for a good Hole-o-ween, and don't brush your teeth on the night of October 31st.
We kind of did forget about the spooky stuff. One of the guys, he just killed a fuckload of people. Like,
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's some spooky...
Hulk smash, and
there's
he
some
really
spooky
did.
Marvel. There's got to be some spooky Halloween-themed Marvel characters, like little-known Marvel characters, right?
I mean, Hulk zombie. Like...
Oh, the whole zombie. I mean, you could just have a whole zombie fucking timeline, right? That's happened.
Yeah, Marvel zombies. That's a thing.
Done.
Yeah, see? We covered it.
Yeah.
It was Halloween.
It was spooky.
The whole time. Spooky the whole time. You just didn't realize that we were talking about the zombies.
Also, Scarlet Witch is a witch. Like, fucking get off my ass. Oh, so thank you for joining us this week on Bitstorm. If you'd like to find all of our previous episodes, go to podchaser.com/Bitstorm. See them all there. Listen to them there. Leave us a review. Let us know what you think.
And if you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Mount Defiance off of the album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust. It's very spooky, and you should go check it out. It's at kuradust.bandcamp.com.
That's right.
Before we go,
yes,
I recommend for all our listeners out there to go check out. There was a game jam that Ben he hasn't wanted to talk about this yet.
No, I was about to bring it
Jam
up.
2024.
Yeah.
What was the game that you made, Ben?
Yeah, so this was a 1 week spooky themed game jam, and I decided to try my hand at a bit of a visual novel and wrote up a little story. It's called Ignore All Previous Instructions.
That sounds very generative AI there, Ben.
Yes. No generative AI used in the making of it, of course. But yes,
that's okay then.
Thematically, there is some AI discussion in there. Teamed up with an artist to do some of the background art. It looks great. And you can go play it now. So I think it's beastslinger.itch.io that you can find that on, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes, it is. So you can find that there. It's play in the browser. Yeah. If you like, check it out.
I will be doing that, and leave a comment. Leave a comment if you checked it out. Say, hey, I found out about this from the Bitstorm podcast. So
that's it. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And don't forget to tip your dentist.
Ooh.